I just had a real big epiphany. So this video is going to be called Animals versus Human Animals versus Humans. HUE_MAN, and that would be like soul-spirited humans, obviously. It said we've got one arm in angelhood and, 1 foot in the monkey animal body. But this lecture is called The Animal, right? Animal humans, obviously organic portals, right? Anthropoid body, I've said that in many videos. And that's all they are, the surface people, right? And then the human, man of the hue, right? Some people call it HU and then they do a hyphen MAN. But I realized it's hue, like, the hue, HUE. So I actually created that word, _MAN, and the underscore is actually a parabola. Now, I read that somewhere years and years ago, and that's a word for spiritual awakening. And then I realized, because there's a parabolic graph curve, which means going under the x-axis of a graph. And I was studying business at university at the time. So I was doing graphs. And I realized, okay, that's what's meant by spiritual awakening, Very interesting. I'd done university during the eschaton because it was super complex that way. And what was the eschaton all about? 2012, all the time ending, right? Historical time ending, the addendi. And presumably to the beginning, like so-called Big Bang, or what I call the white wall, or what scientists call like the beginning, right? The field of atoms, or electron field, before that even, the electron field. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, so the time wave definitely happened because that was in my experience. So that's something I know for sure. This Mandela effect, look, it does seem like something like that's happening, but the thing is, you could probably attribute it to what Terence McKenna, who discovered the time wave zero, called maximum novelty domain. And if you listen to all his lectures on this, and then view the main lecture where he's up in front of the screen of a Cartesian graph, your average graph you learn at school, and he's showing you this energy wave structure, and he says that's time and it's fractal as well. Check out what he's saying. It's amazing, right? Because that means there's fractal circles, fractal loops in the code. So the loops are fractal. And presumably you would then think that the universe is a giant loop at the biggest loop, right? And the smallest loop, I don't know what that might be, Planck length or something. But everywhere in between is your experience of your daily life behavioral loops, or your monthly mood, or, any cycle. So anyway, what was I saying? An animal, I think, in nature can see time through its third eye, is the epiphany I just had. I thought, well, yeah, they're grounded, they're connected. That's when I have really clarity of vision. What vision? Well, look behind, close your eyes, and look behind them. If you don't see anything after, I don't know, let's just say a little bit of practice for a while, let's leave it at that for this video, then you may well be an organic portal, or what we call a soulless human. And, sorry to laugh, but you guys have impinged on our lives in a nasty way, and it's almost like a good feeling when we discover that you are, what we say you are, and you're not even realizing yourself. So it was a laughable cosmic giggle I just did, not totally just laughing at you. Anyway, so you may be an organic portal if you don't see anything behind those eyes, the third eye. And I just was thinking about how ungrounded people are wearing, shoes all the time, and how much that cuts off your vision. Now, it does it to me also. If I build static charge over a month, 2 months, 3 months, now it's quicker quicker for you guys that are ungrounded a lot, but I've been grounded my whole life, so it takes longer for me to clog up, do you understand, with a static charge, which bogs your, I don't know, let's say starts probably at your lymph and your blood energy, because, the sun energy in your blood, ultraviolet, and then, DNA movements from vitamin D, 10% of your genetics, so on and so forth. So, you stuff up all the systems, you clog all the body systems all the way to the lymph, and then you get fat, and then you clog more, you get more parasites, and blah, 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 and you end up obese. And so what's interesting is, and you shut down your organs, the vibration becomes static, like a city is a dead resonance zone, and Terence McKenna's time wave necessarily introduces a theory of resonance. And halfway through the video, that's what they come up with. They realize that too. It introduces a theory of resonance. And, these time cycles, like how the past is connected with the present moment. So that Terence McKenna made a quote, or could make a quote, which was, I thought, a brilliant quote. Past civilizations were, hemlines, sorry, this is how the quote goes. Hemlines, like the hemline of a dress, of women's dresses. Hemlines are rising and falling to the beat of ancient civilizations. And he can show you that on a graph, physically, pragmatically. That's what that time wave software did. It showed all the fractal layers, so obviously he would have studied the crap out of it, but I bet not even, he's only one man, so not even completely. He still had questions about it, obviously, and that doesn't mean it's not real. It just means he couldn't even cover the material. It was such a big fish out of the ocean of mind. It's such a big idea. The little monkey man could barely handle it, Thank God he wrestled it to shore for us, and we have the videos of him to see. Could have been worse, could have been nothing. Anyway, he could have went off to the hospital, you know what I mean? So, I was thinking that animals that are connected must have a third eye as well, some of them. But I've said, and I'm the person who said this, in the world, that soul humans are, positive soul vectors when very souled, and that the organic portal is like a stabilization of the morphogenetic field of any species. And, someone like me is a vector pulling forward the field. So a concrescence, right? And there's a meaning in that. And what's interesting is that, animals have this too, because in any species there is organic portal NPCs. That's the idea of NPC. It's a non-player status. And, it's as if they're inert, more to be molded than doing the molding, and that, it's almost like you take on the energy of the universe more, because as a concrescence, you see, if you're a soul, or you should be, but there's many people who are not, who are just as inured as organic portals are. Many of you out there who are souls, and many souls out there are very inured. So unfortunately, anyway. So, I was thinking that animals, since, the stabilization functionality of organic portals, the moniker and the idea, and, the idea of, soullessness and concrescence as well, of spirited nature, of self-spirited nature, and taking, collective conscious creation, and that they are, the zombies. Essentially, my YouTube here is plant versus zombies. Yeah, I do food plant teaching videos, and then I realized, and someone said this in a comment too, that I do, zombie videos or organic portals, because they're collective unconscious, you see. And the indigo, the person who goes within themselves, is more the collective conscious creation. Many people have said things like, I remember a shaman said, the only difference between me and them is that I'm conscious. I was like, yeah, that's what I think too. I was agreeing. So, yes, me, Shaman Walking Crystal, agrees with that guy. So, there's other people who can see this in their own words. All I'm trying to do with all these videos is like summarize it really well, try to bring in or bring to light as much of the information as I can, because I think this is the number one spiritual block, number one spiritual theme in the world, understanding organic portals. Because the many myriads of ways that you can be put back to sleep and how they can act like a block and so on. And we're talking, multiple life block and, as deep as you can think, to my knowledge anyway. So what's interesting is I think animals then also would have, the concrescence, and that's why I made a video, did quartz crystal forget concrescence? And I was talking about that in that video, the idea of concrescent animals, and that goes with the idea that I've put forth, that organic portals are simply any given species morphogenetic field stabilization functionality, and that they've been corrupted to become like a blocking mechanism. And it's also kind of embedded in the original theory I've read in that Laura, whatever her last name is, the Cassiopeia version of this stuff. It's also kind of embedded in that, something along the similar lines. So again, then I'm not the only one. That's good. Can't take me away yet. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know where they want to take you. Alright, so I think then the animals also would get time visions, is my point with this whole video. So then there's, time visions. So the animal is only the animal body, and that's the organic portal idea. So that means any of you people listening, how spiritual is your life? Are you spiritless or spirit more? Or spirit full? And that has nothing to do with religion. Absolutely nothing with religion. You can find this stuff anywhere. I like an old alchemist quote, actually, and he says, the highest mountain, the strangest people, and I forget the rest of the quote, but it's in Conscious Zine. That's where you will find the stone, and weirdness. Basically in the weird, and yeah, like that. So it's like the highest mountain, the weirdest person, that's where you'll find the Philosopher's Stone. And which to me is the alchemical mind of Earth, and it's always hiding there away from this organic portal surface virus, which is always trying to just kill, seek, kill and destroy basically, and assimilate, right? So yeah, I was thinking that animals also have time visions, and so that puts the organic portal in even worse a position. No offense, but that's the truth. That puts the organic portal in an even worse position, because then, it's like animal versus human. Yeah, like hue of the electromagnetic spectrum, and for instance, how your cells communicate in microwave, and then, sorry, the birds. For instance, how your cells communicate in microwaves, and the different wavelengths. And humans do too. We have radio towers, radio waves, microwaves, where you put cook your food in. So we take advantage of that, but with the body and feeling, basically the cosmic occurrences, and keeping up with cosmogony instead of the latest soap opera on TV. You know what I mean? I said keeping up with cosmogony, like cosmological evolution, rather than, the soap opera, for instance. And this is done, through the body, and that's why I'm always talking about grounding, because then you're electrically connected to everything that there is, right? When you take off your shoes, then you're literally connected, and you can start to clear that, all the layers of the electromagnetic spectrum. So, organic portals do yoga too. Up in the second story of a building, I hope someone got that anyway. Yeah, those people. We call them the fake woke. Know what I mean? And you're paying them money. I'm out here doing it better, getting it for free, just by standing on the ground. The ground will teach you your own body's yoga. Your own body's yoga, because your body is different. Even at the animal organic portal body, anthropoid body level, the hominid body, whatever you want to call it, even at the body level, you're different. And I've talked about that there's an illusion of similarity. That's what they want us all to be. That's like very relative to, how the schooling system is said by a lot of people to just be like an indoctrination system, because it's so industrialized, and that's a resonance of the robots. But here come the robots. You're going to see that there's like a mega epoch of industrialization it will look like to some people who don't know better. Right, when the robots come, then you'll know what industrialization is. Like the Matrix City off the movie The Matrix, something like that. Well, that will come. That's the way they have to evolve. That's their thing. Like the humans make love and like psychedelics. The robots like to do that. Just replicate. Right? So that's their thing. And that's more of a soulless action, and that's why a lot of people are talking against people in the world having kids, because you might be having it with organic portals, inferiorizing and mixing the DNA and everything. So that's why people go on about that. Like anti-natalism. Right, so I'm thinking that animals in nature must have vision as well, right? It was just an epiphany. I'm just sharing a little epiphany. And so it just reiterates how I think, I don't want to say it, but I have to say it, how stupid, because stupid to me has a hard vibration. I see things energetically as a shaman, and stupid is like I made a video, dumb density. It's like they have a wall and their brain doesn't move as fast as mine. To be honest, I have my neurons, the things in the brain, neurodendritical evolutions, which it seems to be quicker movement. Yes, I've been diagnosed with ADHD and all that. That's attention dialed to higher dimensions, not just a deficit, thank you. It means I'm facing more upward dimensionally than you. If you think I have ADHD, and which I've been diagnosed with, that means I'm, just facing away from this crap. This third dimension, this crude third dimension of the electrical light and this, so-called what we call matrix, right? So I'm looking into the higher hues. That's why I have the YouTube cover picture of me looking up into the magnetically suspended rainbow bridge between brain hemispheres. So that's a level beyond what I was just talking about, the microdendritical evolutions, and then you go down into the quantum brain / you're going into your mind, into the energy zone there, quantum mechanics and all that, right? Into the microtubules below the neurons, and then you're going across the rainbow bridge and you're syncing your hemispheres. So that's why you don't eat garlic just before you prepare for meditation. Eat it after to go to sleep or something. Figure out the time for garlic. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a good video on that. That's because it's epic. Garlic is epic in the way that you need to avoid it for the desyncing of the brain hemispheres. It really does have an effect, and that's why they tell the fighter pilot jets, don't have the sulfon hydroxylthione out of the green, brown, white onion and garlic. That sulfon hydroxylthione desyncs the brain hemispheres. So it's going to take you out of the rainbow bridge ability to look up. And it's because it's like an antibiotic so heavy. It's bringing into body. Like pain brings you into the body. Any pain to the body brings you like smashing down, crashing, I call it, crashing into the third dimension, or crashing down into physical reality. You know how you click back in. coming back to reality, people call it. The third dimension is indeed a reality. One reality. A zonal reality. That's what a third dimension is. It's a zonal reality. And that's why, when you come down off psychedelics, it's the same thing. Because you're looking upward dimensionally. So the third eye is your natural psychedelic ability, And all that happens is when you take magic mushrooms, your body goes into such a state from psilocybin that it seems to induce that. And part of that is because it's an ordeal poison. All psychedelics are like mildly ordeal poisons. Right? You see other shamans and tribes around the world putting on gloves of ants. That's what I mean by that's a hardcore ordeal poison, but you can get vision from that. And that makes the young man into a man in these tribes in like Africa and stuff. They put a glove on of, red ants. And the ants sting the shit out of them and they become a man. And they have vision. They're meant to have vision. But the organic portal doesn't have vision. And I also think organic portals would die earlier too. And, you as a vector should be eating well. Does that mean you're completely vegan? Not necessarily. I said eating well. So whatever the given daily, minute to minute, hour to hour situation is, what's best in that situation is best. That may not be the vegan option. You never know. Now, I'm not saying no, because obviously that's a thing that will bring, veganism is like a thing that will bring you into a lighter state and less pain body state. It will, purge a lot of parasites. So obviously that's something to reach for. Does that mean you do it all the time, every day, all day, forever? No, not necessarily. That's the organic portal way. Super consistency. They're unchanging. They're stagnant body beings. They're unconscious. Consciousness is change all the time, right? I think all of us actual awake people realize that now, because we're in a universe where the only constant is change. So if you're to be conscious of the only constant, you'd be changing a lot. You think you would be changing your mind, thinking, processing more, not less. And that goes with the universe being, a complexity creating and conserving machine as well. And that's why I did make a video that is apt on baby boomers being more dense, because that goes with least complexity, more density as well, less connections, less hyperactivity. Things are speeding up all the time into the future. That's how you can think of it. And consciousness is triangulated. And, it doesn't come about like Carl Jung said. I like his quote. That psychologist Carl Jung, the great Carl Jung, he was a pretty good psychologist on archetypes and stuff. He said, you don't come to consciousness imagining figures of light. It's painful. There's pain involved because you're physically moving a physical body as well. You got to take kilojoules, energy, basic unit, joules, and, it takes energy to think. That's why I need you guys to donate, because I need food to eat, to think, to philosophize really hard and deep into the field. Another thing, or the dark ocean of mind, what I personally have always called the sea of ideas, because I grew up a surfer and I thought, where is this place I always go to, in your dreams, in your visions? It's the dark ocean of mind. That's what Terence McKenna called it. What I call it is the sea of ideas, since I was like 10 years old. I only met that Terence McKenna guy in the last month of the Eschaton that he himself was presenting. Isn't that interesting? November 2012. That's when I finally found 80 of his videos, watched all 80 in the month, went out, took these... And I got it, guys. I found the big mushrooms in the field in Australia. Haven't found them since, and I went looking. How many years is that now? 7 years. Can't find them. Nothing. So that was meant to happen, Found the magic mushroom as I found McKenna at the end of the Eschaton, at the end of all cultural time, and presumably all previous time. Whoa. That's something. Anyway, back to the lecture. So there's the animal portion, and this is what we're saying is organic portals. And there's this word, dirigibility. If you're capable of being steered and guided, have you, as a human being, integrated enough cosmic truth, been not ignorant, and accepted a lot of cosmic truth into your frontal cortex of the brain? It's very interesting. And your heart should be able to read the universe, your heart field, because people are probably thinking, why are you mentioning the heart field, Ben? Yeah, because that's magnetically a lot stronger than the brain field, for instance. And then you have the gut brain. Don't forget the gut brain, not just the heart brain. So yeah, I don't know, it's pretty interesting. Like if you see this the way I'm seeing it, that means that there's going to be animals like, I think my little cat here, this little cat that just came to me synchronistically, and there was a certain set of events for me to be having this cat, right? I'm not an idiot. I wouldn't even be touching barely the thing. Yeah, afraid of too many, parasites and stuff. I'm not a full-on germaphobe. I'm just aware that they're licking their ass and so on and so forth, right? So you bloody well clean your cat or dog, or you're getting worms necessarily, because they're walking on worms, licking their ass.